Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. I hope you all have been doing well. It's been a minute since I've posted. Last video was back at the tail end of October and I'd like to apologize for that. We'll actually talk more about that, but in the meantime, I actually have this video here covering a recent and pretty surreal event. January 21st, 2024 marked the 5-year anniversary since I posted my first video essay on the channel covering Xenoblade Chronicles 2, in a video called Why Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is an Amazing Sequel, which means that I've been making content, I would like to say regularly, for the past 5 years, and that is insane to think about. It really does not feel like 5 years since I put that first video out, since I first started grad school, and well, here I am now. But it kind of just hit me, so I wanted to sit down and do a bit of a reflective video, pretty casual in tone. I'm just gonna have some Mega Man footage in the background while talking, but looking back on my experience over the past 5 years and just, happy memories and such. So kick back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. Leading up to that first video, I've told this story before, but just to briefly recount it, I had tried to make a lot of YouTube videos back in the day when I was in high school and college, and yeah, I was really cringe. Back in high school, it was primarily a lot of Let's Play videos that were just not good at all. There was a Majora's Mask, a Sonic 2, a Mega Man 6 one. They were just... they were fun. They were fun for me to make, but they were not very good.
Oh, that's a smart idea. No! Oh, no! You didn't grapple hook fast enough. Damn it.
In college, I made the shift to primarily focusing on Pokemon content. There was analyses that I would do of new Pokemon that were releasing with Sun and Moon, and I would also do just a lot of Pokemon Showdown lives. I literally had a whole weekly schedule. It was like Monotype Monday, I'm pretty sure there's a throwback Thursday. I couldn't think of anything for Wednesday, so I said Random Wednesday. Why did I not just make it Wacky Wednesday, you stupid idiot? And a lot of that content was inspired by a lot of the YouTubers that I was watching at the time, primarily Pokeaim and Shofu. I loved watching their content. They got me into competitive Pokemon at the tail end of high school with the turn of like X and Y and very end of Black and White. And yeah, I had fun making that content, and again, getting to kind of like, express myself creatively, but again, they really weren't the best. I wasn't very confident in my commentary, and I wasn't really bringing anything interesting to the table, and I ended up burning myself out on trying to record this weekly format in the attic of my dorm house in a really unsettling room. Like, there were like bunk beds arranged up there. There was a single table that I set up. It just had a chair, and God, the echo. Man, some of those old videos I actually still have public. You can go check them out, listen to the echo. It's bad. But I still have fond memories with a lot of them.
Sad and depressing. There are white splotches everywhere.
What's worse?
It's either ceiling or paint.
But I remember on winter break one time, I wanted to do a video on Xenoblade Chronicles X and speculation, since that was, the exciting thing that was coming out at the time. And although I had written a script, I never pulled the trigger on the video. So, fast forward past college, I'm at grad school at this point in my first year, and I'm stuck in this, what I always said was a repetitive cycle of just waking up, going to teach classes, coming home, maybe playing a couple games, going to my class, coming back, maybe doing a bit of homework, go to sleep, rinse and repeat. And it was kind of wearing on me. I wanted to express myself creatively again, since it had been a while since I did that, and so I drafted up a script for Why Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is an Amazing Sequel. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 released at the end of 2017, I beat it at the very beginning of 2018, and I could not stop thinking about this game. I was so enamored by the direction that the story turned, and the music and everything, and I just wanted to make good on that Xenoblade video that I never made. So I sat down, I wrote the script, I edited it in iMovie with all my lovely fade transitions. I have not gone back and watched that video in I don't even know how long. I really don't watch most of my old content unless they're like collabs with other people, because I just like reflecting on those kind of interactions. I have not seen that video in a while, but I definitely do remember using a lot of fade transitions. And I put out the video and I thought, all right, you know what? I'm happy with the fact that I finally did this, and you know what? If it does actually decently well, then you know what? Maybe I'll make another video on Xenoblade or something of the sort. We'll see. And yeah, I mean, for what, I was used to, the video did very well, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, what? This is crazy. People are watching this video? So I sat down and immediately started writing one on Torna, which I had also beaten recently, and yeah, I really like Torna, and from there, it just started expanding. I did a video on Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I said, alright, let's talk about one of my favorite game stories of all time, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. I played that in college, and it blew my mind. It still kind of blows my mind, to be honest with you. But that kickstarted this journey and brings us to where we are today, and for that, I am eternally grateful. I'm not a massive channel in the grand scheme of things, but I feel incredibly lucky that I got the opportunity to make content on things that I really want to talk about, and for some reason people listen. That's I don't know, I'm just a nerd. I am sitting on the floor of a closet right now to get good acoustics while recording this. That's just how it works, I guess. We've come a long way from the days of editing in iMovie where I couldn't have more than one layer at a time, and recording with a blue snowball in my open, non-sound treated office, the one actually where I recorded my Dramatis Personae intros, since I was still learning, was a one-man crew, and really didn't have much money, I had to think of a bunch of workarounds for things like taping my phone to the wall, hitting the record button, and running back to my seat to try and lip sync with the pre-recorded audio clip on my laptop that was just hiding below my desk. I also taped my phone to my dinner table and then had it dangling down so I could record myself spinning the Super Paper Mario box hanging from a string in front of my green screen. I had to get really creative with a lot of this stuff to make it work, but when I have an idea, I just really want to try and bring it to life. And that's not to discourage people from jumping into video creation because they don't know what they're doing either. You're gonna learn along the way, and you don't need the editing of a god or fancy equipment to make content that people will resonate with, if my channel is any indication of that. Yeah, I have put a lot of work into my channel, but I'll be the first to tell you I got really lucky, and I will always encourage people to create what they want to, something they're going to be proud of. But yeah, anyways, I'm very grateful for the chance that I have gotten. Whether you have been watching me since recently, maybe you found me at the very beginning of this year, at the end of last year, or you've been watching me since 2019, to which I apologize that you've had to deal with me for that long, but I do recognize a lot of names and faces from when I started back in 2019, or, within the first year and such, and that's just incredibly flattering. Thank you guys for sticking around for so long. But yeah, again, no matter when you found me, thank you for all of the support that you've given me. It really does motivate me to want to keep doing this, and I know that I haven't had a video recently, which I apologize about that. I'm actually working on one. I'm about 30 minutes in deep to it because I said, you know what, it might not be a bad idea to either slow the pacing because of what's going on in life, or maybe make shorter videos. Here I go, making a video that's probably going to be close to 50 minutes. When will I ever learn? But one of the reasons also for the slower pacing has just been, for those that don't know, I am currently in school again, just for last semester to finish this program, but there are a number of tests, exams, things that I need to pass, so I've been kind of focusing on that, and honestly, even if I do have free time, sometimes I'm like, I just need to take it easy and talk with friends, so I got a little distracted there. But regardless, thinking back on the last 5 years, there's definitely been a lot of interesting things that have happened. For about the first year and a half, I had this really strict schedule that I held myself to, where I went, okay, every 3 weeks on Sunday, with the exception of reactions, because those are very easy to do, I will have a new analysis or scripted video to put out. In the very beginning, when editing was more simple, I had more time, and I definitely had that immediate spark of passion, it was working pretty well, and there would be times where videos would be a little late, and God, I went back and I looked at my old tweets and updates on those, and I would profusely apologize every single time it was delayed a little bit, and now I'm kind of just yeah, the video will be done when it's done. I mean, I tried for the longest time to make sure I still had a video out every month, and I still do feel really bad about not having a video out since October, but I know that there's a different focus. Like with the editing, I tried to put more time and personality and passion into it. I also want to make sure that the scripts are as good as possible. I'm honestly a bit of a perfectionist when it kind of comes to this stuff, and yeah, you watch my videos, you go, yeah, this dude ain't a perfectionist. It's covered in mistakes everywhere. But that is the thing. If I were to go look at an old video, sometimes I go like, oh yeah, no, I was really happy with that video. But sometimes I go, the video where I made that mistake. Like, I'm still kicking myself over the math error I did in the Bionic shoulder one. That's the thing. I ran that by a couple people too, and nobody caught it until the comments were like, hey, this doesn't math. And I went, oh my God, I'm an idiot. This is why I should not teach math. And there's other stuff that also comes up that I think about. You know, I try to block it out as much as possible. It's more in good fun at this point. It's not something where I'm like torn up like, oh no, the math doesn't math. But yeah, I think that the change in schedule has been a lot healthier in terms of it, because since the beginning, I've always wanted to make the videos on stuff I wanted to. That's very important to the identity of my channel. Just kind of centering it around stuff that I want to talk about that's also focusing on video game narratives and characters and why they're so awesome, honestly. The last year in particular, I feel like has been probably full of my favorite videos that I've done, the ones that I'm most proud of, just because it has been a lot more varied in terms of content, which thank you all for the positive reception on that. You know, it's always scary when you're kind of known for something by a lot of people and you decide to dip into something, but I've always, you know, regarded the way that I do my content as primarily video essays analyzing video game narratives and characters that I think really stand out, with you know, a focus on Xenoblade, just because I of course really like the series and, you know, I still want to talk about it. Yeah, I mean, the last year's had my Metal Gear guide. That was something I had wanted to make for a long time, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. The Nightmare Before Christmas video, again, another idea I've had since the beginning, but haven't really gotten around to it till now. The Akane analysis as well, that is probably one of my favorite analyses that I think that I've done. I feel pretty good about that script, and just, again, another video idea for like 2019. Back in 2019, I had this like, when that first initial excitement hit me, I was like, ooh, okay, I'm gonna do a video on Torna, but then I want to talk about the foreshadowing in Xenoblade 1, and then let's talk about all of Zero Escape. But then I also want to talk about Akane, but then I felt that I needed to talk about all of Zero Escape in order to have full context before jumping into Akane. And one thing I was afraid of also earlier on is that I was still learning a lot in terms of editing, getting my voice and presence. And I mean, I'm still learning that kind of stuff, but I was worried that I was going to essentially, quote unquote, waste these ideas of things that I was extremely passionate about when I know I can make them when I have improved my skill set. That's actually why I still haven't done a couple videos. I want to do a video on Ocarina of Time because that's my favorite game of all time, but I'm a little nervous because A, what new thing could I possibly say that hasn't been said about Ocarina of Time? And because it's my favorite game, I want to do it justice, and I want to make sure I have the time and the skill set to do that. Metal Gear Solid 3's ending is my favorite moment in any story. It kills me. It is one of the things that consistently gets an emotional reaction out of me, and I want to make sure I do that justice when I talk about it, which is why I've held off for a bit. I guess that's kind of a spoiler of what potentially could come. No promises on when it's going to come, but these have also been ideas that I've had since 2019, and even though I've had ideas for a while, they're not necessarily fit for a specific time, so sometimes they just kind of come up in the moment. But aside from that, other videos that I really had a lot of fun working on and I think turned out pretty well were the How the Machina Stole Christmas video that I did with Fiagyu. I had such a fun time with that video. I remember talking to us like, hey, I got an idea. Are you interested? And Fiagyu was super helpful and like through the process just really easy to work with. So I have very fond memories of that, despite the fact that my computer pretty much died at the end of the process. I remember I was like trying to transfer it over to another computer. I was like, oh god, time is ticking. I have to get this out by Christmas, which has also happened on other occasions. The Mithra video that I did with Rudra, that was back in it's 2019 or 2020. I remember I edited so much of that on one singular day because I was holding myself to that stupid free week policy. Like, I loved working on it with them. It was, a very fun video, but God, I was like, I'm never gonna do this again. And then I ended up doing the same exact thing with the Virtue/Reward video and a little bit of the Paper Mario video. So I think that's another reason why I made the schedule change. And honestly, advice that I would give if you do want to do YouTube content is just don't overexert yourself. Don't push yourself. People are very understanding. And I understand that some stuff is time sensitive. Like, and I remember before Chris's video, I had to get out before Halloween or by Halloween. You have an April Fool's video, you gotta get it done by April Fool's. But the less amount of time sensitive stuff that you force upon yourself, I think the happier you're gonna be with not only yourself, but your content. Getting back on track, I go on a lot of tangents. My students are very familiar with that. The Zen Olympics was a lot of fun to do. We had Rudra, Luxon, Bits, Momo, and Sig. Getting to work with all those lovely individuals was such a fun time, and I just love the positive memories and relationships you build through doing these sorts of collaborative videos. Ever since I started making them, I've actually met a lot of really cool people and friends through working on them, and I'm very thankful for that. I also just want to give a huge thanks to my family and my friends that I've known beforehand. My parents have been nothing short of supportive of what I do, even going as far as to deck me in the head with a copy of Xenoblade Chronicles free. Ow! And I'm very grateful for that. Maybe not the bruise that I got afterwards, but you know. My brother has also been one of the most supportive people of what I do, offering ideas, advice, and even giving me that first blue snowball mic that I used back in high school and college. But yeah, I love you, man, and I really appreciate everything. And a final shout out to all of my friends who have shown up in a number of my videos, whether that was a recent skit I did or all the way back to the Pokemon Showdown ones. I've been able to make numerous friends from various walks of life, whether that was middle school, high school, college, online, and I'm just really privileged to have connected with so many wonderful people. There are few things I enjoy more than working in ambitious visuals or short skits into my videos, since the filming process is incredibly fun. I look back on a lot of those dumb skits that I did really fondly. Unfortunately, I live 8 hours away from all of my really close friends, so not every idea gets made, whether that's due to the distance or just time doesn't work out. It's really tough when you have what you think is an excellent idea and you're just not able to make it, but I'm sure every YouTuber has been there when you want to bring something to life, but due to logistics, you just have to scrap it. I had to scrap a video on Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition where I was going to talk about 7 or 8 things that I wanted them to do in it, and then as I was editing it, I think I was about 5 points in, I was really getting there, Nintendo just drops this trailer with all of these new features for Definitive Edition, and I went, shit! This whole entire video is pretty much bogus now. So I had to scrap that, and that was all that work gone. And that just happened. You can't anticipate that kind of stuff. I also really enjoyed the Ocarina of Time randomizer that I did. I streamed pretty consistently when I was in grad school whenever my computer wanted me to. I stopped doing it just because tech issues, and I felt really kind of self-conscious about it when tech issues were interfering with stream or anything of the sorts, and so that kind of was the first nail in the coffin, and then the rest was just finishing grad school and getting a full-time job, and instead wanting to spend the time that I did have working on videos or just talking with friends. I still do enjoy streaming, but I still do get nervous also doing it as well.
I guess there's but one thing to do. Come to me, metal bro.
But regardless, the Ocarina of Time randomizer that I did was actually one of my favorite videos that I put together. I really like challenge run videos. I watch Doug pretty frequently, and I love that kind of style of stuff where there's some sort of interaction or thing that you're trying to accomplish and work towards, and I think it gets the viewer, whether they're in the stream or watching the video, engaged in the narrative of it. And it's just lighthearted and fun, so I do like doing that as much as I love my analyses videos. And finally, the last thing, I feel like I've talked on long enough, like, ooh, yeah, I really like this thing I made. It feels a little, like, egotistical of me in a sense, but I have a lot of, like, good memories of this stuff, too. But the Pokemon Black and White, it's all in the details video, is my favorite video that I have ever made. And for the longest time, it was actually my most viewed, which is unexpected. I remember it just kind of, like, exploded due to the incoming hype of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's announcement, and I went, what the hell? What? Huh? Okay, sure, why not? I would say that was the most personal video that I've ever done, and I'm just really happy that this video on a game that I would put in my top 10 100%. Pokemon Black and White is one of, if not my favorite soundtrack, it's so hard because Xenoblade 1 and 2 are there. That's like the top 3, but the game means a lot to me, and so I'm just happy that I was able to do it justice, and people seem to resonate with it. So I look back on it very fondly. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of like stressful moments with working on videos and just everything over the years. Like I said, there was definitely a lot of just like buckle down and try to get this done in a day for several videos, which I don't think is necessarily healthy, but I like to try and focus more on the positive memories that come with it, and it's just really cool to, even if I don't go back and really watch my videos, it kind of just feels weird to listen to myself, just to kind of have like this catalog of my life over the past 5 years in some manner. But where to now? Well, like I said earlier, I'm finishing my last semester, and so videos have kind of slowed down in terms of release. I am currently working on a video that is more winter themed, that is going to be a long one, so stay tuned for that. That should be the next one on the docket. I would also like to do a number of other videos in the future, not to give a definitive date about when it's going to happen, but just some ideas that I'm thinking about are another first-person run, but this time for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, like I did with the first Xenoblade. The camera in that, though, is a lot more sensitive, so that one should be interesting. I would like to potentially do another Xenolympics. I have a couple ideas about games that would work for that, and I think an interesting theme at play. And the last of the Xenoblade things I'm thinking of is more Monado Air episodes. I kind of feel dumb for this. I made this Season 2 announcement that I was like really excited and I kind of hyped up, and I really liked how it turned out. I got all these new art assets. Shout out to Bits, by the way, for the new logo and background. And then I only did the one episode with Bits. Yeah, so I feel really bad about that. I probably should do more of those in the future. And there's a couple guests I have in mind, one of that I talked with previously, so we'll have to check in and see if they're interested. But yeah, I would like to mix some of those in. When that'll happen, I don't entirely know, but hopefully soon. But aside from Xenoblade, there are a number of other games I'd like to talk about. I want to talk about more Metal Gear. Of course, I want to revisit stuff like Pokemon and Zelda. I still need to do a video on Mega Man, analyzing Zero or some of the characters in there, because there's a good amount to talk about in Mega Man, and obviously, well, you see the gameplay in the back, I am a big Mega Man fan, so I feel like this is something that should have been done by now. But anyways, I feel like I have talked a lot. Thank you all if you have made it to the end of this video, and thank you again for supporting me for all of this time. 5 years is a crazy milestone, and I'm very, very proud of how far we've been able to push the channel, and I want to see how far we can continue to push it, and see how I can improve my skill set as an editor and a writer, and give you guys more interesting content on things that I really love. Maybe I should have done a Q&A with this, but if you have any questions, or maybe there's something that you would be interested in seeing content on, or maybe there's a video that I did that jumps out to you, or maybe you found me through, feel free to leave a comment on that. I want to read through a lot of that stuff. I want to hear what you guys are thinking, and it's been a while, so it'd be good to talk to you guys for the comments there. But on that note, I've said thank you like 50 times. I feel like I'm going to say it one more time. Thank you again, and here's to another 5 years. Until next time.